What we're doing is manipulating equations so that we can solve for a specific variable. In this circumstance, we're going to be solving for x. That means that we want it to say x equals. And so we've got to eliminate all the other things to isolate the x. So the first thing we want to do is we've got an x on this side and an x on this side. So we need to get the x's on the same side. So let's do this. We'll do plus nx on this side and plus nx on this side. That leaves us with 2m. These eliminate each other. Equals x plus nx plus 4. And we want the x's to be by themselves, so that means we've got to get rid of that 4. So we'll do minus 4 on both sides. And that gives us 2m minus 4 equals x plus nx. Now, we've got two x's over here, but if you notice, we've got a possibility of factoring those out. If you've got an x in this one and an x in this one, that means that you can factor it out. So let's rewrite this equation as 2m minus 4 equals x times 1 plus n, because x divided by x gives you 1 and nx divided by x gives you n. Now we can isolate the x by taking away the 1 plus n. What is it doing right now? It's multiplying. So the opposite of multiplying is dividing by 1 plus n. So we'll do that on both sides. And that leaves us with 2m minus 4 over 1 plus 2n equals x. In this equation, we've got x over a minus 1 equals y over b, and we're solving for x. So this time we want as always, the x to be on one side and everything else to be on the other side. So what we're going to start out doing is taking care of this 1. So we'll add 1 to both sides. That gives us x over a. These cancel each other out, and you're left with y over b plus 1. Now the x is over an a. That means the a is dividing. The x is divided by a. So we'll multiply everything by a on both sides. So those cancel out, and you're left with x equals a times y over b plus 1. The unique thing about this equation is that it's c plus 2x over x, and we've got an x in the bottom of the equation, and we don't want that. The x cannot be in the denominator in order for us to solve it. So the first thing we have to do is move the x out of the denominator, and since it's being divided right now, we will multiply by x on both sides. Those cancel each other out, and you're left with c plus 2x equals 3x. Once again, we want the x's to be on one side and the numbers to be on the other side. So that means that we will move the 2x by subtracting. Those cancel each other out, and you're left with c equals x. mx plus 2nx equals p, and we're solving for x. When you see this unique situation where you have an x in both of the items being added or subtracted, that means that you can factor the x out. So we'll factor x out of the equation. That leaves us with m plus 2n equals p. I'm going to review that for you. Mx divided by x equals m. And 2nx divided by x equals 2n. And we want to solve for x, so that means we've got to get rid of the m plus 2n, and since it is multiplying right now, we will divide both sides by m plus 2n, divide by m plus 2n on the other side, and that leaves us with, these cancel each other out, and you're left with x equals p over m plus 2n.